Hot 105, the station with 50 minutes of today's R&B hits and oldies every hour. Rick Party in the afternoon. Big man Kelly and my friend Jerry Rushin. How you doing, Jerry?
I'm great, man. I'm great. I'm speed reading this book, man.
I had to have you here, man. We got a great topic today. We're talking about conquering child sex abuse.
Yeah.
It's one of those issues that's been, taboo all over the world, and especially in this community.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it's like close your eyes, the booger man will go away or whatever it is, but closing your eyes don't do anything, You just have to open your eyes, keep your eyes open, and deal with it. I mean, you just have to confront some things, and this is probably one of those issues, one of those things we just deal with and see what happens from there.
Absolutely. So, I invited a nice panel today. First of all, we got Ashley Foster. She's going to be coming here. She's a child sex abuse victor, as well as Keon Dooley. Dooling is a former NBA player, standout high school player here.
Exactly.
He's happy to share his story.
Okay.
And, of course, I wanted author, life coach, and child sex abuse victor, Kelly Porter. She's in the studio right now. Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Rick. Thank you for having me.
Good to have you here.
Yes.
You've been on this crusade for a very long time, and we've been going back and forth for a few years. You've penned a book called Perfectly Planned, and it pretty much it's your story. Celebrate life after abuse. So tell us your story. Tell us about how you came to be.
All right. Well, here we go. It's a long story, but I'm going to make it as short as possible. Being the youngest of 8, born into a family of abuse.
Right.
Literally, that started before I was even born.
Right.
So you could just imagine what everybody else got. But in the meantime, I'm the youngest child, so I am introduced to incest. And I can't necessarily say who the family member is, but it is a family member. So I'm introduced to a female perpetrator. Okay. So now I'm developing, this liking for girls, which is truly unnatural. So I like boys and I like girls because I'm being taught to perform oral sex on an older teenager at 8 years old. Directly after that, maybe around 9 years old, there's a pedophile who's actually living in our house. He's paying my father $150 to live there because he's allegedly one of the other family members' boyfriends, but he's a pedophile. But see, back then in those days, pedophile, the word didn't exist. You were called Chester the molester. The laws were not as strict.
Yeah.
You got a slap on the hands and probation. That was it. So this guy is living in our house, and he threatens to get the younger children, and I'm one of them. And he does it. He does exactly that. So now I'm going through this whole incest thing. I'm being introduced to little boys and little girls, and this is all between the ages of 8 and 13.
And how long did this go on in your life?
This went on, the incest, the child molestation, starting from the age of 8 until about 17, until I was actually able to escape the child molestation.
How did it affect you as an adult?
Oh, I was very depressed. I was very promiscuous. I had low self-esteem. I didn't trust men. I didn't trust women. I tried to attempt suicide twice. I was an alcoholic. I smoked a lot of marijuana, self-medicated. It was horrible. It really was. It was horrible.
Okay.
So at what point how do you turn this around? This hole is deep. How do you get out of this kind of a situation? I mean,
you know what? The way to get out of this, and this is truly coming from my heart, you have to go back. When you start to see that there is a dysfunctionality in your life, let's say you're the common denominator of all of your broken and failed relationships, if you see that pattern, you have to look what I call self-reflect and correct. You have to go back. Why do you have low self-esteem? Why are you trying to commit suicide? Why are you having sex with 100 men or 100 women? Why are you doing these things? Once you find the answer, the why, now you can kind of channel these patterns and these behaviors that you will develop after being molested. You will develop low self-esteem. You will develop a high sex drive because that's what you're taught. These things are going to happen. And if you're not willing to go back and look and try to see how, who, what, when, where, and how these things happen, you will live the rest of your life a broken soul.
Wow.
And so for me, I had to go back.
Okay. You know what? I want you to share some numbers with us shortly, and also signs. How do you know if your child is going through something like this? We're also going to have Keon Dooling in the studio. We're going to talk to him as well as Ashley Foster. It's got a great show. It's called Conquering Child Sex Abuse.
Yes.
Hot 105.
Love it.
Hot 105. Today's R&B hits and oldies. Rick Party in the afternoon.
Hot 105, your station for today's R&B hits and oldies and an adventure. Join us for Disney Junior